Hello, and welcome to the Finding Funds for Oregon Students, helping Oregon students plan and pay for college. For this presentation, we have Lacey Toll, who is our Scholarship Program Administrator here in the Office of Student Access and Completion. With that, I will have Lacey start our presentation.
A little bit about what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go over some common financial aid terms you will hear. We're going to discuss our website, OregonStudentAid.gov, where all of the information I am sharing today is available. We're going to talk about the Oregon Public Grant programs that are available, the OSAC scholarship application, and lastly, I'm going to give you some tips for success as you navigate this next year. First up, there are two common financial aid terms that you will hear. First is need-based aid, and the other is merit-based aid. Need-based aid is based on the expected family contribution that is provided by the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, which we will talk about next. It is based on the amount of money that your family is able to contribute to your education. Merit-based aid, however, is a little bit different. It is based not on need, but on other factors, including what you plan to study, your GPA, your community service, and any other activities you may have been involved in. Next up is the FAFSA. The FAFSA is an acronym that you will hear a lot through this presentation and the next year while you're navigating financial aid. The FAFSA stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. The FAFSA determines your expected family contribution, which, as I said before, helps determine your eligibility for need-based aid. The FAFSA is also an application for many federal and state financial aid programs, including the Pell Grant and the Oregon Opportunity Grant, which I'll talk about shortly. The FAFSA is also required for many private scholarships and private scholarship applications. The FAFSA opens every year, October 1st, for the following academic year. It is very important that you visit FAFSA.gov and file your FAFSA as soon after October 1st as possible. ORSA is the Oregon Student Aid application. And ORSA is the state of Oregon's alternative to the FAFSA for DACA and other undocumented students who are ineligible to file the FAFSA. The ORSA also opens October 1st and is for Oregon residents only attending Oregon colleges. Again, visit our website at OregonStudentAid.gov for more information on whether or not you should complete your ORSA. First up are items that require no repayment. Grants, scholarships, and work study are all terms that you will hear throughout your financial aid journey, and they do not require repayment. Grants often require the FAFSA. Some have additional applications that are required and are typically solely based on need. Scholarships, however, can be need-based or merit-based. They also have a separate application, and they oftentimes can require your FAFSA or your ORSA. Work study is a federally funded program that is determined by your FAFSA and your EFC, and it allows students to work part-time on campus to earn additional money for school. Again, none of these have to be repaid. However, if you decide to take out student loans, these are required to be repaid. And there are two types of student loans. There are federal loans that are serviced through your financial aid office at your college. The FAFSA is the application for those federal loans, and they will require repayment. There are private loans that are available through a bank or credit union and not serviced through your college, and they have a separate loan application. Next is OregonStudentAid.gov. A little bit about this website. Everything that I'm talking about in this presentation is available on OregonStudentAid.gov. We also have a resources and publication page, as well as if you would like a presenter to come out, you can request a presenter there. At OregonStudentAid.gov, through our student portal, you can create an account for our and grant programs. Um, you update your personal contact information, your college of choice, and you accept and decline any scholarships. Our student portal is the one place where you can apply for most everything I'm going to talk about going forward. And again, the most important piece of this presentation is that you walk away understanding that our OregonStudentAid.gov is the home for all the information I'm about to talk about. So first up is the Oregon Public Grant Programs. The state's largest need-based grant is the Oregon Opportunity Grant. And to apply for the Oregon Opportunity Grant, you file a FAFSA or you complete an ORSA. That's the only application for the Oregon Opportunity Grant. However, to receive the Oregon Opportunity Grant, you must attend an eligible Oregon college or university. So you must stay in the state of Oregon and attend school. DACA and other undocumented students are also eligible to receive the Oregon Opportunity Grant by completing the ORSA. The maximum award amount for the Oregon Opportunity Grant is $2,600 for community college students and $3,200 for students attending a four-year college or university. The Oregon Opportunity Grant is prioritized based on a student's EFC. Again, there's that expected family contribution number that is determined by a student's FAFSA or ORSA. OSAC will notify students that they appear to be eligible for an award via email. There is no action required once you receive that email. However, you do have to attend college in the fall to receive your Oregon Opportunity Grant. The maximum award amount for the upcoming 1920 school year has not been yet determined, but could be very similar to the award amounts above. Next up is the state's newest grant, the Oregon Promise Grant. In order to qualify for Oregon Promise, you must be a recent Oregon high school graduate or GET test graduate, have a GPA of 2.5 or higher, or have passed your GED test, and you must attend an Oregon community college within 6 months of graduation. What that means is when you graduate from high school, you have 6 months to enroll and attend a community college. That does not mean register, it means enroll. You also have to be an Oregon resident at least 12 months prior to attending college. If you move to Oregon in September and you complete your GED and enroll by the following September, then you are considered an Oregon resident. Your eligibility for this program may be determined by your expected family contribution, and that expected family contribution criteria is subject to change. Currently, we have no EFC criteria for this program, so any student who applies and meets the requirements will receive the grant. However, that could change depending on the funding available. In order to receive the Oregon Promise Grant, you must file your FAFSA or your ORSA and make sure you list an Oregon community college. You also need to visit OregonStudentAid.gov in the student portal and complete the Oregon Promise Grant application. This application is 5 sections, takes at most 30 minutes to complete. It's really easy. The Oregon Promise Grant application has a variety of deadlines given the requirement to start within 6 months of graduation. Highlighted on this slide above are if you are graduating from a high school or homeschool and you are graduating March 1st to June 30th, you have until June 1 to complete the Oregon Promise application and file your FAFSA or ORSA. It is important to note that if you graduate from high school in June, you need to start community college by fall. However, if you graduate throughout different times of the year, there are different deadlines for you to complete the Oregon Promise application and the FAFSA or ORSA. This information is also available on our website. If you are unsure of your deadline, you visit our website at OregonStudentAid.gov. We have a tool that will help you determine your deadline for your Oregon Promise application and your FAFSA or your ORSA. Some other grant programs that OSAC offers. First, we have the Chafee Education and Training Voucher Grant. This is a federal grant for current and former foster youth. The application on our student portal opens November 1st each year. Students must complete that application and the FAFSA each year for this grant. The additional eligibility requirements are detailed on our website at oregonstudentaid.gov. Our newest tuition assistance program is the Oregon National Guard State Tuition Assistance. In order to qualify for this program, you must be a current Air or National Guard member. And for this program, it is a last dollar program, so you must complete your FAFSA and accept all federal and state aid grants that are given to you, and the tuition assistance will then help cover the rest. Again, the application requirements are quite lengthy and they're available oregonstudentaid.gov. A couple other smaller grant programs that OSAC has to offer. We have a deceased and disabled public safety officer grant. This is for dependents of deceased or disabled public safety officers. It is a paper application currently, so you will need to complete that and reach out to our staff if you believe you are eligible for that. The Student Child Care Grant is a grant for student parents who need assistance in paying their child care expenses for the year. And again, the information is available on our website at oregonstudentaid.gov. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the OSAC Scholarship Program. The OSAC Scholarship Program is a unique private-public partnership that allows OSAC to offer over 600 privately funded scholarships through one online application. And we are going to talk about that application in a minute. We award over $17 million each year. One thing to note about scholarships is that they are more competitive than a grant process. So with a grant, oftentimes you complete the application, you meet the basic eligibility requirements, and you receive the money. With scholarships, you complete an application and you may or may not receive an award. Some key deadlines to note for the scholarship program. First, our application will open November 1st. Our first deadline is February 15th, and this is an early bird deadline. So if you complete your application by February 15th and you have provided us all the necessary information, you will be entered in to a drawing for an additional $1,000 scholarship. Our final deadline is March 1st. Your application and all required documents must be submitted by March 1st at 5 p.m. to be considered for scholarships. Now, please note that both deadlines have a 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time requirement. Like the IRS, if either of these deadlines fall on a weekend or a holiday, we will roll forward to the next business day. So next up, I'm going to give you some examples of some scholarships that we have to offer, and we're going to talk through the variety of scholarships that OSAC offers through our online application. First up is one of our biggest partnerships with the Ford Family Foundation. The Ford Scholars Program is for students that are entering college freshmen or transferring juniors from a community college. They must be planning to obtain a bachelor's degree, and they have to be going to an Oregon public or nonprofit college. The Ford Scholars Program awards up to $40,000 a year or 90% of a student's cost of attendance, and that includes books, fees, housing, tuition. So 90% of what the complete cost of attending college is. Ford Scholars is also need-based, so there is a requirement that you complete your FAFSA or your ORSA. The second program that Ford offers is the Ford Sons and Daughters, and this is for dependents of employees of Roseburg Forest Products. Ford Restart is for adults ages 25 or older that are beginning or returning to their post-secondary education. So if they're returning to their post-secondary education, they have to be less than halfway through their completion of their degree. Students must be planning on receiving either an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree, and they must attend an Oregon public or nonprofit program. Lastly, the Ford Opportunity Scholarship is for single parents who are head of household with custody of their dependents. They have to have at least 1 year remaining to complete their degree. Again, they must be planning on obtaining an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree, and they must attend college at an Oregon public or nonprofit college. All 4 of the scholarships that Ford has to offer are also available to DACA or undocumented students. So even though you may not be a U.S. citizen, you are still eligible to apply for the OSAC scholarship programs, including the Ford scholarship programs. Over half of our scholarships here at OSAC are available to DACA or undocumented students. Now I'm going to talk about the variety of scholarships that we have here at OSAC. First up is the Oregon Teacher Scholars Program. You must be enrolled in a teacher licensure program. It's a $5,000 scholarship award available for up to 2 years, and you must attend an Oregon 4-year public or nonprofit college. On the other side of that is the Trailblazer Scholarship for graduates of Oregon high schools who have not yet attended college. Students need to have strong community service listed in their activities chart. They must have a GPA above 2.0. And again, this award will be up to $2,500. This scholarship is also automatically renewable if you continue to meet the criteria. So you could receive this scholarship as you continue through college. Next up, we have Franz and Catherine Stenzel. They couldn't agree on a scholarship, so they decided to start 2. Their first scholarship is for non-traditional first-generation college students who are approaching their final year of their program. These students can't be medical majors, and the award amount for this is $5,000. Again, this program is renewable, automatically renewable, so if you continue to meet the criteria, you could be guaranteed up to 4 years of scholarship money. Their other scholarship is for graduates of Oregon High School who are majoring in a medicine or a medical field. And again, there's a GPA requirement, 2.75 for high school students and 2.5 for college students. This scholarship also has a $5,000 award amount and is automatically renewable. Lastly, we're going to talk about the Seneca Sawmill Company Scholarship. This is for graduating high school seniors only, Oregon or California residents, and an additional essay is required. Seneca is asking students to write a 5 to 7 page essay, and that is their sole criteria for awarding this scholarship. This scholarship can be an up to $10,000 award amount. Lastly, we have Fred Fields for industrial engineering, business, or career and technical education majors that are attending Oregon community colleges only. This scholarship is automatically renewable and starts at $4,000. And if you end up transferring to a 4-year, you could receive up to $10,000. So it's a great scholarship to receive. Now let's talk about how you actually apply for these scholarships. Again, OregonStudentAid.gov, you can find the link to the student portal there. Within the student portal, the scholarship application requires a student profile, 4 personal statements, an activities chart, transcripts, and then other specific documents or essays required by the scholarship. Similar to like what I just talked about with Seneca, there are scholarships that require additional essays. First up is a student profile. This profile is 9 sections, takes approximately 30 minutes, and will then match you or recommend scholarships to apply for. So of the over 600, these first 9 sections will narrow down to about 40 or so that we believe you could be eligible for. I always suggest to students that if they're unsure if they're eligible for scholarships, they complete the first 9 sections, they look at what's available, and then decide from there if they want to continue on the application. After you decide which scholarships to apply for, you'll be required to write 4 personal statements. Now, these personal statements are 1,000 characters each, which equates to roughly 150 words. So they're short, but they're tough. The first one is, what are your specific educational plans and career goals and why, and what inspires you to achieve them? The selection committees are really looking for you to have a plan and to have a goal. Now, we understand that this plan and goal may change, but they're really interested in your ability to be able to plan. Again, it is important that you answer each piece of the question for all of these statements. The second statement is, what have you done for your community or family that you care about the most and why? So maybe this is something, volunteer service, that you listed in your activities chart, which we'll talk about next, but you would like to be able to explain it. Maybe this was helping care for a sick family member, things like that. Describe a personal accomplishment and the strengths and skills you use to achieve it. And then describe a significant change or experience that has occurred in your life. How did you respond and what did you learn about yourself? Again, these are 150 words, 1,000 characters. They are very similar to other scholarship applications. So if you write personal statements for our application, you will likely be able to use them in other scholarship applications that you complete. Up next is the activities chart. We ask you to list up to 20 activities in your activities chart in these three categories. So we'd like school or community-based activities, volunteer activities for either your community or your family, and paid work history. Now, paid work history can include getting paid to babysit for your family, actually having a job and working. Any time that you are being paid to do something can be included in paid work history. Volunteer activities include things like volunteering at your church, or maybe you had to babysit and you did not get paid. That is included as a volunteer activity. Anytime you volunteer your time, whether it's at the Humane Society or walking dogs for the animal shelter, anything like that. School and community-based activities include sports, clubs, anything at school where you were involved in an extracurricular activity. If you're captain of the soccer team, or even if you just play soccer, volleyball, all those activities should be listed in that section of your activities chart. Again, selection committees like to see a variety, and they like to see activities in your activities chart. Next up is transcripts. We ask that you submit a transcript with your scholarship application. Missing or incomplete transcripts are the only reason that OSAC will reject your scholarship application. The transcript you are required to submit is determined by which type of student that you are. So for high school seniors, we ask that they submit their transcript with their first trimester or semester grades on it, and those are typically available in January or February. For college students, we need your complete college transcripts that include your grades through fall term. So those would be available mid to late December. Homeschooled students have additional requirements, and again, I encourage you to visit our website at oregonstudentaid.gov to determine those requirements. When completing the application, the transcripts section automatically determines which transcripts are required for you to submit and will provide that information in our application. You'll have 3 ways to deliver your transcripts to us. You can upload them directly into our application. You can mail or hand deliver them to us. And if you are a high school senior, you can request that your high school provide them on your behalf. Now I'm going to talk about some additional resources and support. OSAC Outreach and Resources, again, oregonstudentaid.gov/outreach is a place where you can request in-person community presentations. You can register for online webinars. You can watch our YouTube channel videos, and you can order printed materials that we have to offer. Again, follow us at Facebook and Twitter for updates regarding our programs and any new information that we have to offer. That completes my presentation. If you have any questions, general questions about OSAC, please contact us at the email contactus@state.or.us, and we will be more than happy to help guide you through your financial aid journey.